Delicious. Straight from the chicken puss puss. We'll like it. Right, don't be silly, come on. Just managed to get these off the back of the truck before old matey boy had to nip off back home to pack the rest of his eggs. She's sending off to the supermarkets or something. Working hard, these guys, I'm telling you. Come on, let's go see what we can do with these back home. Delicious, straight from the chicken puss puss. Well, we just managed to grab these from the back of the truck before that guy had to nip off, and he wasn't very keen on us filming, so we just had to grab them. And he actually gave me a discount, bless him. So let's go home, see what we can do with these. Okay, so we're back from the markets, and we're going to cook some supper. We're going to do this really simple bread, soda bread, and then we're going to do stuffed squash, winter squash with quinoa, which is delicious, along with a kale and feta salad. And then for dessert, we're going to have pears, stewed pears with saffron and cardamom. Okay, so let's start by sifting the flour. So this is just strong bread flour. Sift that into there. Lovely. And then the spelt flour, same amount, 280 grams of spelt flour. Spelt's great, especially for vegetarians, because it's really high in protein. 17% of our recommended daily allowance. So that's going in. Brilliant. Okay, in here, I've already measured out a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of bicarb, and half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. And we're going to sift that in as well. Ooh, hasn't all come out. It's going to need a little bit of a hand there. And maybe just push it through the sieve if it's being a little bit tricky. Okay, and then make sure your flour, your two flours, your bicarb, your salt, and your cream of tartar are really well mixed together before you add the wet ingredients. Okay, so now I'm going to add an egg to the wet ingredients. So what I've done here is used half semi-skim milk and half yogurt. And what you want is a sort of bit thicker than milk consistency and not as thick as yogurt. So we've got our half milk and half yogurt, buttermilk, and we're going to add our lovely eggs from the farm. One egg, crack that in there. Deal with that later. I'm just going to whisk that. Make sure you do whisk the egg in. Don't cover the pepper jar in. Now, making a mess still. Brilliant. Now, speed is of the essence. We've got to make sure everything's ready. I'm going to lightly flour our tray and then pull our sleeves up. Got our surface over here ready for us to plop out onto in a minute. Okay, so make a well in the center of your flour that you've mixed together really well. Get it? And then pour in most of your mixture, but not all of it. Hold a little bit back because we're not sure how wet it's going to be. And you make a claw and then mix it in. I think this is going to take all of that mixture. So you want it to pick up all the bits. Yeah, it's going to take it. So your mix is going to be quite wet, but not too sticky. Oh dear. Okay, so now we're going to plop it out onto our floured surface. Just bring it together. Oh dear. And then, good old Irish tradition, what with it being Irish bread, is that you put a cross in it, don't cut yourself. Use the back of your knife and shimmy it open a bit. Put another cross in it. Shimmy it open. Let the fairies out, because you don't want them to jinx your bread. Of course they don't get the heat, so it goes all the way into the bread while it's cooking. Okay, oven's nice and hot. Okay, so let's get this into the really hot oven. It's going to be in there for 20 minutes. Then we're going to turn it down to 200 and give it another 20 minutes. And it should be ready. Right, so we've cleaned up and we're ready to go. We've got the squash from the farmer's market. And we are going to roast this off in the hot oven. I'm going to make a paste in my pestle and mortar. It's so useful. Right, so I'm going to chop the top of this squash, onion squash this one is. It's a winter squash. Okay, so it gives us a flat surface. So turn that over. I'm going to cut it in half. Mind your fingers, hold your hand out flat. Okay, ready? Wash. Okay, yummy.